Okay, so today we are talking about finding the lesson. Finding the lesson in things and in the people around you. If there is someone in your life right now that you know that they're not good for you, you know that they don't wish you any goodwill, and you're sitting there going, why is this person still in my life? Why do I still have to deal with this person? Why do I still have to, take care of this person? Why is this person still here? If you are asking yourself that question, hi, they sent me, because I've been through that. Everything that I talk about, I've been through it. That's why I can talk about it. But remember, I'm not giving you advice. I'm telling you what happened to me and how I overcame it and what's going on in my life. Does that make sense to you? I know what you're going through because I went through it. I went through it. I remember I could see the movie. I remember exactly where I was. I was walking to the bus. Nope, I'm lying. I was walking back from the bus. I was walking home, and my ex-husband was still in my freaking house. Papers were signed, just waiting for the courts to give me my freedom. And I was just like, why won't this person leave me the fuck alone? Why won't this person leave my house? Like, what the hell is happening right now? And I was complaining. I was complaining to the spirit. I was like, I was in the middle of the street. This is why I love where I live. There's usually nobody on the street. I'm like, da da da, and going off. And all I heard in that still small voice is, you haven't learned the lesson. And I was like, bitch, what you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? I was mad. I'm a New Yorker. I was like, what you talking about? And they were like, he is still here because you have him here. And I was just, I'm there with you. I was mad too. I was mad too. I was like, what you mean? What you mean I have him here? I don't want him here. Nobody wants him here. Why? What are you talking about? They were like, you are keeping him here to fulfill something that you haven't learned from or accepted. I had to stop. I stopped in the middle of the street and I was just like, huh. So I started to ask the right questions. This is what I need you to do because this is what I did. Like I tell you all the time, you don't got to do what I did. You don't have to do what I'm just here to help. So you could do whatever you want to do. But this is what I did, right? When I got that download, it felt it I mean I mean as transparent as possible. It felt like a betrayal. I felt betrayed by my spirit team because I'm just like, you know what he's doing. You know what's happening. And you're not going to fix this? Like, isn't this your whole job? Ain't your whole job to help me and to protect me? And they were like, yeah, but you have to learn the lesson because if you don't learn the lesson with this person, you're going to find the lesson in someone else. The lesson doesn't go away if you don't learn it. Once you learn it, and you have to kind of master it because these mofos, what they do is you learn the lesson. I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. You learn the lesson, right? And then they give you little tests here and there. Who know the people who go through this know exactly what I'm talking about. They give you little tests to make sure that you actually have a protocol for that lesson. Do you understand? This is why I'm so big on protocols because it's like if this happens, this needs to happen. There's some wiggle room, but if this happens, this needs to happen. You've been through this already. This is for someone specific. You've been through this already. You know what this looks like. You know what this is. Stop pretending like you don't know what it is because when you pretend like you don't know what it is, it triggers the lesson. Does that make sense? It literally triggers the lesson. And then all of a sudden you're back and you're sitting there going, yo, you treat me just like my ex. If that person is treating you just like your ex, there's a lesson that you haven't learned that you just activated. Does that make sense to you? I've done this. I still do this now. This is what it is. So getting back, it was like, I felt betrayed. I was just like, so this is what we doing? This is bullshit. You understand? And then I kept walking. I kept walking home. And the closer I got to my house, the more I was just like, yo, this dude is in my house. And it's my house. Didn't pay shit. My house. I'm like, what? And I busted my ass to get there. Alone. Understand? Alone. I busted my ass to get there. And the closer I got to the house, the more I started to look for what the lesson is, because I didn't want to do it anymore. I walk to my house now and I'm so happy because everyone who's in my house right now and everyone who comes to the house right now, I like seeing them. I am happy to see them. I will no longer have anyone in my space or in my house that I am not happy to see. That is my sanctuary. Do you understand? And this is for you. If that person is in your house and they are making that house miserable, that is not your person and that is not the house. Somebody got to leave. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I did, because I was like, my kids aren't happy coming home. No one was happy coming home. And that's a bad thing, because we went out to battle. We went out to war to make sure that there's food in the house, to make sure there's a roof over the head, to make sure that the kids have clothes. We went out to battle and we came back. When you come back to your house, you are supposed to just be able to chill. Seriously. You're supposed to be able to chill out because you did what you were supposed to do. You went out there, you found supplies, you came back and you're taking care. You're coming back to the victory of the day, and it's supposed to feel good when you get into your cave. When you get into your house, when you get into your temple, when you get into anything, there is not supposed to be someone there that when you walk in, they're sitting right in the front, right in front. As soon as you walk in the door, they're sitting right there to remind you don't have what you want. And that shit fucked my brain up. You understand? It did. It fucked my brain up because it was a psychological tactic. Even if the person didn't realize what they were doing, it was a psychological tactic. Because the minute I walked in my house that I paid a lot of money for, they're sitting right there, not doing anything productive. Things are not done. Nothing's done. So the minute I walked into the house, and this was every day. This wasn't like some Tuesdays and Thursdays. This was every day. And I was building, I'm still building. I was building the empire so my kids have generational wealth. And I'm building it so that my grandchildren have generational wealth, that everybody else can be like, you know what? My great-great-grandmother, she started House of Kayla, and now we all have our own clothing line. You understand? That's why I'm doing this. Oh, my great-great-great-grandmother, this is a picture of her. She friggin' started the alignment room and healed half the world because her person healed the other half. So it's just like, we're doing this for our children. We're doing this for even if you don't have kids, and you're building something, There's someone's child, even if that child is older than you. There's someone's child that is going to look at your videos, look at your teaching seminars, and they're going to be like, I can do that too. That in itself is generational wealth, because you get in this game, you get rewarded for that. You do get opposition because it's not supposed to happen in the game, but it's happening because your nervous system is regulated. You are doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're going out to battle and you're coming back. When you come back, your home is supposed to be calm. It's supposed to be, and this is not, oh, this is wishful thinking. No, your house is supposed to be calm. You're supposed to be with a person that when you come home, you are looking forward to going home because they're there. You're looking forward to going home because you know they're coming home. You understand? And you start thinking about a bunch of things that you're going to do and how you're going to do them and why you're going to do them and all that other stuff. That is how I want to live with a person. Does that make sense to you? That is not what was happening to me, right? Everything that I said, the opposite was happening, right? And I was on that road walking home, and I knew what I was gonna. It was a script. It was a loop. It was just run. The loop was just running. So I knew what I was going home to. That's why the argument started with my spirit team. I'm like, so we gonna just keep doing this? This is gonna be forever? Like, and then my team is just like, you're the reason why he's still here. And I'm just like, what the fuck you mean I'm the reason that he's still here? They were like, you haven't learned the lesson. You have to learn the lesson. And I'm just like, this is insane. And I was angry and I kept walking. And in my anger, I was just like, what fucking lesson? I asked the right question. What fucking question? What lesson is this? And then it's like, whose life is this? That was what I heard in my. I'm just telling you what I heard in my head. Whose life is this? I was like, all right, let's play this game. It's my life. And then they were like, who's in control of this life? And I'm like, I'm in control of this life. And I'm like, and then I didn't sit there, but I was walking, and I was just like, because trust me, it doesn't take that long to get to my house. I used to drag out those walks. So you're probably like, damn, you didn't reach the house yet? No, I used to drag those walks out because I knew I was going to have to either flip out because this is crazy, or I needed to implode and keep my mouth shut because there was no point, and it was just going to make the kids more upset. So it was one of the two. So that's where I was going. So I was going real slow. For that person who asked, you didn't reach the house yet? Yeah, I used to take my time. Now I rush home. And before, I used to take my time, boy. What? Take my time going. But anyway, I digress. So I was walking, and I'm in control of my life. It is my life. And I'm like, and remember, at this time, I wasn't like this healer that I am right now. Like how I talk to spirits like this. I was still learning how to do this. I'm still learning how to do this, So it's like, I didn't really have, like, hindsight is 2020. I look at it now and I'm just like, damn, it took me a long time to get that, because now I have so much protocols in place because of situations like that. But I digress. So I walked, and I was just like, I'm not directing my life. I'm allowing my life to direct me. And I was like, and it's kind of like, I felt like I was outside of myself, and myself was talking to me, and I was talking to it, and it was just like, tell him to leave. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, and I stopped in the middle of the street again, and I was just like, I never told him to leave. I never told him to leave. I never told him to leave. I just assumed, hey, we're divorced. Go about your business. You know, I never told him to leave up until that point. And I kind of looked at myself and I was like, bitch. I was just like, oh, I did not tell my spirit team I wanted him to leave. I didn't say anything. I was just like, y'all see what's happening. He don't belong here. Get rid of him. I didn't take command. Does that make sense to you? This is for someone very specific. You need to take command. You are not taking command of your life. You are allowing other people to dictate to you what you can have, who you can have, why you can have it, and what you're going to get. Doesn't matter what you did or what's happening. Do you understand? You are in command of your life. This is your life. Whether you work at a job, you have a business, under a contract, or whatever, this is your life. Granted, I knew it was kind of like those who play video games. It was the final battle. It was like I knew that once I went in there today, it was just like, we gonna do this. Because that was like, shit. I've never said what I wanted. I never said what I wanted. All I kept doing was taking what I was given. And the stuff that I was given was shit. So it's like I kept taking what I was given and not being like, no, I don't want that. Keep that. I want this. Does that make sense to you? That was the lesson. The lesson is I wasn't telling people what I wanted. I was just waiting for someone to give me what I wanted. And that's not what was happening. So I was going in there hot, like hot. My spirit team was just like, they weren't quiet, but they were like this is not gonna work. The people who know what I'm talking about, who are in tune with their spirit squad, when they're like, they're not going to tell you no. They're not going to tell you stop. They're just going to be like, okay, here goes this. We're going to do this lesson over again because this is not going to work. And right before I got to the house, right in front of the gate, I was just like, turned to my spirit squad. I'm like, what's y'all problem? Because I know this feeling. I know this feeling that I'm about to do something that's going to set us back like 3 or 4 months. So what is it? Tell me what it is now. And they're like, you going in there and just blowing shit up and being like, get the fuck out. That you did that before. That you've done before. And I was just, and then the thing is, it's hard to explain how the spirit talks to me because they talk in movies. Like in my head, they talk in movies and they show me me. I'm the movie. They show me and they're showing me, you did this before. And while the movie is playing, there's a commentary running in my head going, bitch, you did this before. Look at it. And I saw it. And I was just like, God damn, I did do that before. And they're like, what are you going to do differently so we don't have to do this again? And the main problem, and this was a lesson that I learned that day, I was scared of my ex-husband. I was scared. Everybody's like, oh my God, Keisha's so strong. Keisha is so tough and all this other stuff. No, Keisha's actually a fluff ball. Don't get it twisted. That fluff ball can go nuts. But I was scared of him because I didn't know what I was capable of. Does that make sense to you? I was scared of him because I was like, yo, he is going to trigger me and I am going to lose my shit. And all the work that I did on myself is just going to dissolve to shit. And I'm going to have to start all over again. That's what was in my head. especially at that time. At that time, I was really in my healing journey. I was clearing trapped emotions. I was studying. I was doing the work, and I felt like going toe to toe with him would have reverted me back. So that was another thing that kept me silent. It was just like I didn't want to, I felt like I was going to go backwards, and I didn't want to go backwards because there was too many people depending on me. So I didn't want to go backwards. So I'm standing at the gate, and I'm like watching this movie, and I'm like, what are we going to do differently? And I'm like, what do I do? Never asked my spirit team that until that point. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And all of a sudden, I saw a movie. Movie didn't happen yet. I saw a movie. I saw me sitting in front of him, calm, and being like, this is what's happening. This is what I need done. And you need to leave at this time. Get your stuff together, and you need to get out of my house by this time. That's the movie I saw. I promise you. That's the movie I saw. And I was just like, and they were like, you have to center yourself and know this is not about you. This is about just getting something done. The same way, and they said it to me, the same way you will talk to a difficult employee at work is the same way you will talk to this person. No emotion. No, if hun, this was where I think I posted this on my old TikTok. This was where if there wasn't a question mark behind any of the statements they said, it did not deserve a response. Didn't. You this blah 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 blah. I'm not, but okay. You understand? So it's like if it didn't have a question mark and require me to answer, and it be something that I choose to answer, he didn't get anything out of me. And what I realized, like I said, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you what I did and what happened to me. Does that make sense? The person I had at that time may not be the same person that you have. So don't be like, oh, I used your technique and it didn't work. That technique wasn't for me to, the technique isn't what I did. The technique is finding the lesson. Does that make sense to you? Don't do what I did in the lesson. I need you to find the lesson. The technique is finding the lesson. Asking your spirit team, what the hell is this lesson? What am I supposed to do? And watch the movie that they show you, because they're going to. Do you understand? Don't be like, oh, I tried it the way she told me to do it. I don't need you to try it the way I told you to do it, because I didn't tell you to do it that way. I told you what happened to me. What I want you to do is find the lesson. Find what you're supposed to learn. What am I supposed to learn at this level, at this point, with this person, and why won't they go away? You understand? After I sat down, you know, it went surprisingly well. It went so well that I was just like, oh, this is weird. So sat down, had a conversation, told him what date. He was like, okay. That date came and he was gone. Why? Because I found the lesson. I found the piece of me that I had put away to stay compliant. You have to find the piece of you that you put away in that relationship or with that situation or whatever. Find it. Find out what you're supposed to do with it, which is the lesson. If it's tell that person, leave me alone, do not speak to me ever again. And guess what? When they call you again, you shouldn't even be able to reach you, because you shouldn't have that number anymore. Does that make sense to you? If they have access to you, right? Whatever access point that that person has to you, you need to cut that access point. Does that make sense to you? Cut that access point, because they're going to use that access point to mess with you. Nobody likes, nobody who is trying to hurt someone likes when you get away. No abuser likes when a victim gets away, because now what do I, and I got to go find my fix someplace else. But they're still trying to get their fix from you. So whatever, whether it's energetic, whether it's what, doesn't matter what plane of existence the connection is on. If it's connected and you don't like it and it's making your life go down because you're like, they keep calling me. You understand? Cut that off. Cut it off. Get rid of it. All right? I know this helped. I know it's a bit all over the place. I'm still learning on how to, actually explain what happened, because I do know it helps other people understand what's going on with them, because I can't believe I went through all this shit for no reason. I can't believe that I went through all this and all this hurt and all this pain just to be like, yeah, okay, I went through it. No, I have to talk about it. I hate talking about it because I'm a Scorpio. We don't tell our business, but I talk about it because I know someone else is going to need it. You know, I do. I know someone else is going to need it because I needed it when I was going through it. All right. I think that's it. I love you guys. Stay up, stay blessed. Deuces. Find the lesson.